Welcome back to my channel. As we know, there are only a few days left until the Legend League June 2024 season comes to an end. For those of you who have participated in the Legend League, this is the final stretch to complete your season. However, many of you will undoubtedly realize that the Legend League is incredibly fierce. Not only do you need to defend your base securely, but you also have to achieve the highest performance in each daily battle. Sometimes, just a slip-up in one or two battles each day can result in negative trophy points. For me, every battle requires precise strategy and quick calculations to achieve the highest possible clearing rate. To do that, we need an extremely important skill, the ability to foresee the path your troops will take when approaching the opponent's base layout. Why is this important? It's simple: if you let your troops go the wrong way, they might get divided into smaller units, making them more susceptible to being quickly eliminated. Moreover, choosing the wrong path can lead to our troops missing the strongest areas of the base while they are still under the protection of the Grand Warden's Eternal Tome. For me, the Hydra combo is no exception. Choosing the wrong deployment direction for the troops will lead to a very quick failure. In today's video, I will explain in detail how to choose the best approach direction for your dragon troops when using the Hydra combo. If you have gone through many battles, you may have realized that there are infinite ways to arrange the structure of your base. However, they can be grouped into common categories such as the box base with its extremely popular rectangular shape. These are symmetrical bases with extremely strong defensive clusters that, if the opponent mistakenly chooses one of the two sides to approach, will meet with a very bitter end. Ring bases feature designs with multiple layers of walls, either closed or open, surrounding the town hall. Each layer is spaced apart to mislead enemy troops into circling around the town hall. Diamond bases have the longest possible layout along the axis from 6 o'clock to 12 o'clock or from 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock. This base type is extremely troublesome because your troops can easily get diverted away from the base's center. Additionally, there are countless other base arrangements, but generally, they fall into one of these three categories. So, how do you effectively approach these bases? In my opinion, attacking a base with the Hydra combo always involves 4 steps. Step 1. Get a general overview of the opponent's base to identify the following. First, the strongest defensive area of the base, where many buildings capable of countering aerial troops with significant damage are concentrated, such as Monolith, Air X-Bow, Scattershot, and Inferno Tower. It is especially dangerous when a large number of wide-area damage buildings are placed alongside a Rage Spell Tower or a Poison Spell Tower. We should direct our troops to approach and destroy this defensive cluster as quickly as possible while under the protection of the Grand Warden's Eternal Tome. For box bases, there are typically 2 types of defensive cluster arrangements: all buildings with wide area and multi-target damage, like Inferno 6 beams and multi-archer tower, are placed around a Rage Spell Tower. Symmetrical defensive clusters on both sides of the town hall, arranged around a Rage Spell Tower, Poison Spell Tower, or Invisibility Spell Tower. Step 2. Once you've identified the strongest defensive areas of the base, determine where to deploy the clone spell. It should be in the direction with the most defenses and closest to the town hall. Drop the blimp to land at a point that maximizes the effectiveness of the clone spell. Then deploy your troops to align with the blimp's path. Step 3. Shape the path for your dragon troops. Use the king and queen wisely, deploying the queen with giant arrows to destroy air sweepers in the dragon's path. You can refer to my tutorial video on how to shoot giant arrows through the attached link. Then, join with the king from the remaining corner. Avoid directing the king and queen toward the clan castle, as they could trigger defensive troops and lead your dragons astray. Step 4. Deploy all your troops and use the clone spell strategically to clear the town hall area. Step 5. Observe any areas with strong anti-air defenses along the troops' path. Deploy the royal champion there, and prepare to end the battle. Now, let's move on to strategies for approaching and breaking down some common base designs. First, we have the approach for the very common box base. Due to its symmetrical structure, using the king and queen to clear paths and shoot giant arrows is relatively easy. We just need to choose one of the two opposing sides of this base type, focusing on the side with the shortest blimp path and minimal air sweeper interference. Next, we have the most dangerous box base for aerial troops, the base that clusters all Inferno 6 beams and multi-archer towers around a rage spell tower. As you can see, for this base, the tornado trap is usually placed right next to the town hall. So, you need to carefully drop the clone spell along with the frozen spell. Direct your troops along the shortest path to this defensive cluster to make the most of the few seconds the blimp buys you to destroy the defensive buildings completely. Then deploy the Royal Champion to clear out other dangerous buildings for your aerial troops and await victory. Finally, we have the second type of box base, featuring two symmetrical defensive clusters on either side of the town hall along the same axis. For this type, you should direct your troops into the center of the town hall to use clone loons to destroy one of the two clusters, creating a perfect path for your dragon troops. Next, let's move on to the third type of box base, which has defensive structures arranged around the town hall in a satellite pattern. This is the type of base I encounter most frequently each day. Unlike the previous two base types, this one makes it difficult to identify the strongest defensive cluster for deploying your troops. If you choose the wrong path, your dragons might bypass the strongest defensive area while they are invincible under the protection of the Grand Warden's Eternal Tome. As you can see, this is also a typical base with a pair of invisibility spell towers. And as you can see, the strongest area of this base is right here. Most of the strongest anti-air defensive structures are located here. Therefore, we need to choose a troop path from either the 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock direction or from the 5 o'clock to 3 o'clock direction. Clone spells will be deployed in this direction. I will choose this path because the Queen can completely clear the left flank of the layout, creating a perfect path for the troops. And then, boom, the strongest defensive cluster is quickly destroyed, and the remaining task is to deploy the Royal Champion and finish the battle. There are many other box base shapes, but remember that this type of box base with a centralized design is very dangerous because the defensive clusters are arranged around the town hall, sometimes causing us to misjudge the approach direction. Keep in mind that the strongest area is where the most anti-air defensive structures are located. Next, let's move on to diamond bases. In this type of base, the town hall is usually placed in one of the 4 sharp corners of the base, making the blimp's movement extremely time-consuming and risky. However, we should still stick to the principle of choosing the blimp's shortest path. Therefore, we should deploy troops from one of the two directions closest to the town hall. The first base type I will introduce to you is this one. With a design that is also quite square like a box base, it is also very common these days. First, use the Queen and King to clear the necessary corners to open the path for the troops. Since diamond bases always have a sharp corner with strong defenses, we need to have the King and Queen destroy it, making it less sharp so it doesn't pull the dragons out there. For this type of base, the tornado trap is likely to be placed near the town hall around this area. You need to be very careful and calm to protect the blimp so it can reach the town hall. And so, we use the clone spell in this direction. This way, the dragon's path will follow this direction, easy, right? And then, after the clone loons have completed their task, the path for your troops will be completely clear, right? Deploy the Royal Champion to finish the task, moving on to the second type of diamond base, which has a narrow and elongated shape towards the two sharp corners. The first thing to do is use the Queen and King to clear one sharp corner, then deploy all the troops from one side. Make sure to use the Eternal Tome wisely so the blimp remains invincible for as long as possible before reaching the town hall, and note that you should never start your dragon troops from a sharp corner because they can easily get dispersed in many directions, reducing the effectiveness of the King and Queen. Instead, let the King and Queen clear the sharp corner on the opposite side of the town hall, and deploy troops from a side closest to the town hall. That's all there is to it. Then, deploy the Royal Champion to finish the battle. The ring base is quite similar to the centralized box bases, but due to the introduction of the rootrider, this base type has almost lost its inherent strength. So it is rarely used nowadays. However, since it has a similarly square shape to centralized box bases, you can apply similar principles to find a suitable troop path. I hope the information I have provided is helpful to you. I wish you perfect battles every day. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment to motivate me to create more videos. Thank you for watching the video, and see you in the next ones.
I'm here and I'm feeling fearless. Exaggerated, that's what you assume. The story's over now, I must conclude. I am conflicted, watching where I step still, hanging in the balance. Not the life I want to live, I want to take it all. Standing tall, fear I weighed the burden.